Sports.
Interleague play comes to Kauffman Stadium, and as the Royals hope to become a force in the American League, they can look to the Arizona Diamondbacks as an example in the National League, going from last place to first place last year, winners of 94 games. Royals baseball is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball comes to you from warm, windy Kauffman Stadium, and interleague play comes to Kansas City as the Royals get ready for a 3-game weekend series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and the Royals face a Diamondbacks team that's off to a disappointing start. But, Rex, this same team won 94 games last year.
That's right. They've got some good players, but one right fielder in Justin Upton, man, and can he play on both sides of the ball. Just so happens in yesterday's game out in Colorado, he makes a big catch to save a couple runs, but he wasn't done. He says, I got some thunder. I'm not going to pull him. I'm going to take him oppage. I'm going opposite field. Good swing, good player. He'll be a test to be reckoned with here in this series.
So the Diamondbacks come to town feeling good. The Royals are trying to dust themselves off after being swept in 2 games by the Orioles. Luis Mendoza makes the start, and we'll be back to Kauffman Stadium right after this. The Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealers, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. Joel Goldberg will tell you about this young Diamondbacks team and their experienced coaching staff when we come back.
Royal Kirk Gibson at the helm once again for the D-backs. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. I'm Joel Goldberg. It's not unusual for Gibson and his coaching staff to be out on the road running the stadium stairs before a game, working out every single day and competing with each other. Why should that not be a surprise? A very experienced staff. Alan Trammell, 2,200 plus games in the big league. Matt Williams, over 1,800. Don Baylor, 2,292. Charles Nagy, 318. Add in Eric Young with 1,730, and Gibson played in 1,635. Over 10,000 games of major league experience for the staff. But it is their players who will be going up against the Royals next. Ryan and Rex have the call coming up.
Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. Arizona Diamondbacks in town. There's Kirk Gibson, who played for the Royals in 1990. This is his third year as Diamondbacks manager, and in his second year, he was the National League's Manager of the Year as his Diamondbacks team won 94 games. They won the National League West, and here's his lineup tonight against Royals right-hander Luis Mendoza as we take a look at Rex's key report.
Okay, attack the strike zone down. Sinker down. He's got good pitches, pitch to contact, use your defense. Have good tempo, keep them on their toes. That's right, get the ball, get up there and get the sign, do it again. Want the job? Go ahead. Luis, they're letting you have another chance here. No more pin for you if you can continue to go out and show them you can go 6 or better.
So Gerardo Parra will lead off, playing in center field. The Diamondbacks' regular center fielder, Chris Young, was on the disabled list with a right shoulder injury. He is back from the DL tonight, but he'll be the DH, so Parra remains in center.
Okay, Mendoza outside of his sinker. That's his main pitch. Slider, curveball, and a changeup. He wants to be able to, throw that changeup off of the sinker. That's been a good combination for him, and trust it on the plate just like that.
Got it down below the knees, and Irving Falou at second base tonight throws out Parra, one away, and now Ford will give us the rest of the Royals defensive lineup.
That's right, Ryan, you said it. Fallou's at second base tonight. You never know where the kid's going to play. He's got skills all over the place. How about Mitch Meyer? He's getting a start in center field. Go ahead and track him down, Mitch. Billy Butler, he's going to get a chance to play both sides of the ball tonight. And Quintero, who's swinging a hot bat, stays in it behind the plate.
Ed Yost wanting to give Gerard Dyson a game off, and especially against a tough left-hand pitcher in Joe Saunders. So Mitch Meyer, who hasn't played in quite a while, hits the start in center field. Dyson will be back in there tomorrow night. Former Royal Willie Bloomquist. This is his second year with the Diamondbacks. Played with the Royals in all of 2009, a career year for him to that point, and then for most of the 2010 season, and then he was traded away to the Cincinnati Reds.
Really maturing into the player that he always believed he could be. But for his early years, his first 5 years in the majors, or 4, he was a utility guy. Jack of all, master of none. And he's found himself out of that role into a starting role now.
Moustakas plays it just inside the line and has to show off his arm in order to get Bloomquist 2 down. Good start for Mendoza, 2 ground ball outs. Feeling like summer in Kansas City today. 84 degrees at the moment, upper 80s earlier today. We started at 7:10. Time and temp brought to you by the parking spot at KCI. And another thing that stands out about the weather tonight is that wind out of the south, giving the flags in right field quite a workout. So the ball should carry to center field and left field. Mendoza throws a strike to Justin Upton.
Upton has multiple skills with the bat and the glove. Look at that curveball. Nice quick breaker there. Upton, he'll hit home runs to left field. He's got big power, but also he likes to use the whole field. He'll go right center, right field, like he did in yesterday's game. But watch the break on that. That was nice.
Close enough. Upton reacted as if that pitch was way off the plate. I don't know if you want to get on the umpire's bad side in the top of the first inning.
Well, that could have been a reaction of, wow, that was a snapper. But we don't know that for sure. Working ahead.
2-2.
I mean, did you see the movement that sinker had? That's less is more. You try to overthrow that pitch, it stays straight, but when you just kind of hold it the right way, usually 2 fingers up on top of the seams, throw it nice and easy, let your natural movement take over, it's better. Dave Island likes to talk about trust your stuff over the plate, because if you throw it over the plate, it's going to end up down and in.
And then he's got that little natural cutting movement where he can have movement to the opposite side of the plate. When Mendoza is on, nothing out of his hand is straight. So Upton calms down after the called strike and ends up with a walk after falling behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Walks have been a problem for Mendoza. That's his 19th in 30 innings.
Free passes, they're dangerous. Sometimes they come back and haunt you. More times than not, they end up scoring. And this guy here, he's a hitting catcher. Not a guy who's a catcher and hits a little.
And Mendoza got the corner on Miguel Montero, struggling at the moment, just 2 for his last 17. He also leads the Diamondbacks in strikeouts. He has struck out 38 times in 34 games. Mendoza's ahead, no balls, 2 strikes.
Now they have a few guys that'll run. Upton's one of them. He's got 6 stolen bases this year. Been caught just once. Other guys, Aaron Hill, he'll run a little bit. Bloomquist has 4. Gibson has a way with just his glare of getting the attention of his players. He's got that Joe Torre type glare. Joe didn't have to raise his voice hardly ever. He would look at you with those big, dark Italian eyes, those circles under his eyes, and just look at you, and you knew you were in trouble. He would kind of just melt and say, "Yes, Skip?"
Well, as Joel was telling us before the first pitch, I mean, this is a coaching staff that is just filled with guys who had success as individuals, and just about everybody on the coaching staff went to the World Series, and many won in the World Series. Charles Nagy went to the World Series, didn't win when he was pitching with the Cleveland Indians. Don Baylor had a point in his career where it seemed like everywhere he went, the playoffs followed him, no matter what team he was playing for. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So there's a few guys on the Diamondbacks bench that can get you with a stare.
We hadn't even talked about Matty Williams either. Matt Williams is the third base coach. There's Alan Trammell. Solid player. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He should have been in a long time ago, and he's still not in.
Interesting thing about Alan Trammell, when he was manager of the Detroit Tigers, Kirk Gibson was his bench coach. And now Kirk Gibson is the manager of the Diamondbacks, and Alan Trammell is his bench coach. So they've already worked together in this capacity. The roles are reversed.
Well, Kirk Gibson, with all that brilliant baseball minds he has on his staff, he uses them, to believe me. He's not intimidated by any of these guys who take his job or anything like that. He trusts them.
No swing, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Montero.
Okay, you'll notice that Mendoza, his tempo has slowed. Okay, first 2 outs he got, he was rhythm. He had up there going, throwing strikes. And now this is what happens. Guy gets on, he slows it down a little bit, and that's an outward sign, I think, of, well, I'm a little nervous here.
And that ball's hit hard into right center field. So that walk with 2 outs does turn into a run. And Montero doubles in Upton, and Arizona takes a 1-0 lead. And by the way, that walk, remember, was after the count was no balls and 2 strikes.
Got to have the ability to finish guys off. And, you know, we talked about it when he walked him. Sometimes those haunt you, even with 2 outs. And sure enough, Montero, you could tell by the way he was fouling balls off, he was getting more comfortable and more comfortable. And there really wasn't anything wrong with that location. It was down. Montero just lifted it. See the speed of Upton, no problem.
And now the Diamondbacks welcome back Chris Young, who will be the designated hitter tonight. He was having a heck of a season when he went down. If you look at his numbers, they are impressive. And then you remember that he only played in 11 games, but he was hitting .410 with 5 home runs in 11 games, 13 RBIs. And he also had 4 doubles when he went down with a right shoulder injury, and this is his first game back. Line right to Falou. Good scouting for the Royals to have Falou playing up the middle, and that saved a run. Royals coming up in the bottom of the first with Alcides Escobar leading off tonight. just for tonight, Gerard Dyson gets the night off with Joe Saunders on the mound. So Ned Yost going with Alcides Escobar, who's hitting .300, so he'll lead off. And then Irving Falou, who has a 6-game hitting streak and batting .435, he'll bat second. And Billy Butler gets a second straight start at first base. So here is Joe Saunders, and here's what the Royals need to do against him.
Okay, he's not an overpowering guy, so you can be comfortable up in that batter's box. He will pitch inside occasionally, but look for the ball up in the zone. He has been pitching inside lately. Be aggressive. Take it to him. Get some early runs. He'll feature a sinking fastball, cutter, change, and a curve. And he's going to be 88 to 90 at best. He's a veteran guy, and you can be aggressive on him.
Escobar has 13 at-bats in his career in the leadoff spot. In fact, his first series with the Royals 2 seasons ago, he batted leadoff against the Angels. And a good start for him and the Royals tonight as he gets one down around the bat, but out into center field for a leadoff single.
You know, he's hit in 11 of his 13 games, his last 13, and I like Ned's idea. Ned's going with his hottest hitters at the top 3 spots. Go ahead. He reaches out, ball was off the plate, doesn't have to be right over the plate to get hits in this game. Like how he was aggressive. Put him in play. He's a guy you can bunt on, too. You can push bunt on him. He falls off to the third base side. And Falou, he's a guy that has multiple skills with the bat in his hand.
Looks at a fastball for strike one.
You know, he's hitting all 6 of his games this year. He's a kid on a mission. I'd like to put him in that number 2 spot. It doesn't thrill him any better to be hitting in that 2nd spot in a big league lineup. He's pumped.
And he tried to push a bunt to the right side. He's down, no balls, 2 strikes. That's a good point, Rex, because I would think this would be his first day where he's not thinking, okay, I'm in there because somebody else is getting a day off. He's in there because of the way he's been playing.
He's in there to drive the bus. Go ahead, make it happen. Escobar at first base opens up a pretty good hole on the right side. Irving, watch him go to Hackett now. 0-2, he's going to spread out the plate a little bit, be a little bit more aggressive. And Saunders, that was just a I know you're over there move. He doesn't have a spectacular left-handed pickoff move, but he'll slide step, and he controls the running game pretty well.
Escobar runs, and that is blooped to the infield behind first base, and Saunders with a heads-up play coming over from the mound. And the Diamondbacks nearly turned to double play, so Escobar back to first, 1 out. And now Ford will give us a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks with the leather tonight.
He can go get him in center. Kubel, how about that guy? He's a good hitting left fielder. Willie Bloomquist, the mighty Bloomquist, I like to call him. He's at shortstop. Goldschmidt, he's over there at first base, getting a rare start at first. And we'll see how they defend. Overall, they've made 26 errors so far in the young season. That's the middle of the pack of the National League.
Strike 2. Billy Butler, he had 4 hits in the Baltimore series. And he's hit in 4 straight games. 1 tick below 300 for his season average.
Now Escobar, he's tied for 3rd in the league with 7 stolen bases. And Saunders has an idea he might try to go, and really it's not a bad idea. With sometimes when Billy Butler hits that ball on the ground, it's a double play. I want to try to stay out of that. We'll see. See if he'll move it. Okay, now in the first inning, you've seen his basic move, his throw over. We've seen a slide step, and now he's shown them that he has a step-off move. So this is good when you're seeing a guy you haven't seen very much. You want to try to get that one-way lead and see what he's got.
Almost like a hitter in his first at-bat, seeing how many different pitches he throws and how it's coming out of his hand.
That was his best pickoff move right there. Little deceptive. Looked almost to me looked like he borderline balked on that.
That's not for Moustakas. He's batting 7th tonight.
Every park, when a guy throws over 3 or 4 times, you get the same Moustakas chant.
Yeah, they say Moose no matter what's going on. Even if Moose has nothing to do with the play, they're saying Moose.
He is some kind of popular.
Saunders, a first-round pick of the Angels in 2002. Got to the big leagues in 2005. He's won as many as 17 games in the big leagues. That was in 2008 with the Angels. Backed that up with 16 wins in 2009, and then in 2010 was traded to the Diamondbacks in a deal that sent Dan Herron from Arizona to the Angels. Two and two.
Okay, Billy, he had an inside-out swing on that inside fastball, and that's the best he could get out of that. We've seen him hit several of his doubles down that left field line, but it tells me he's thinking up there, middle of the field, on Saunders. Because a lefty like Saunders is going to try to get you to swing at balls off the plate and down, breaking stuff. There's a fastball for show, and there's a little 92. Now, our gun out here is a little bit strong at times, but he's around 90, 91 tops.
And getting back to the ground balls, Rex, from 2008 to 2011, Mark Burley is the only left-hander in the game who has gotten more ground ball double plays than Joe Saunders.
Takes advantage of guys that want to try to pull him. And when you try to pull, your top hand rolls over the top of the ball and you hit it on the ground.
Billy again trying to go the other way. Hey, nice grab by a fan in the club level up to the first base side. No glove needed.
This is a good AB Billy Butler's having his first time facing Saunders. This will help Billy the rest of the night against Joe, as long as Joe's able to stay in the game.
Upton to the wall, but it's a couple of rows back, still 3-2.
Okay, 7 pitches. Anything past this point now is a really good AB, whether you win it or not. Because you're making him throw some pitches. You're getting to see all of his pitches for the most part. And you gain confidence with each swing.
And Billy works a walk. So the long battle goes to Butler. Saunders got off to a great start. 1.24 ERA in his first 5, and now in his last 2, his ERA is almost 13, and now facing a hitter who gave him a bad time last year when the Diamondbacks were here. Let's look at the Mazda replay from last season.
First pitch of the game. Go ahead, 1-0. It don't get no better than that. Then he comes up again, he hits a double. He was rocking, heading for a good night, and the triple. Wow, what's left for the cycle? A single, and he fell short.
He couldn't get, as you would put it, a
lousy single. That's usually the easiest one to get.
And that wasn't the only good game that Alex had against the Diamondbacks. He was 5 out of 11 in that 3-game series. Arizona swept that series. The Diamondbacks have won 5 in a row at Kauffman Stadium. And now it's 2-0 on Alex. This is the 3rd straight year that the Royals and Diamondbacks have played. Last year in Kansas City, the year before that in Phoenix. Took a little bit off, or maybe at least some movement underneath Alex's bat. 2-1.
Yeah, that's a funky swing. 2-0.
Just a little bit out in front. Escobar singled with 1 out. Butler walked. Diamondbacks got a 2-out run in the first.
256 average for the Royals with runners in scoring position. We need to get better in that.
3-1.
Gordon hitting a 200 clip with the runner out there at second base and beyond. And, you know, that's what they need here. Give Luis Mendoza a little bit of a lift, help him out. See if Billy Butler can get some exercise tonight and score on a gapper.
That might have been ball 4.
Yep, that was definitely down and out of the zone.
Up the middle, and Hill able to flip it to Bloomquist, who had to turn all the way around, and his throw is late. So the Royals avoid the double play and now have runners at first and third.
Okay, now, had Bloomquist not bobbled or couldn't get the handle on it the first time, they might have turned it. But Hill stayed with that bad hop. Bloomquist, you could tell he didn't quite have the handle coming out of it. Billy Butler with a good hard slide gives him life here. For Frenchie with 2 outs to try to scratch a run home.
And Jeff just 1 for 9 in the Baltimore series. As Escobar at third, Gordon at first. Got a pitch up and fouled it away.
Ooh, we missed it. That was it. Hitting just 167 against lefties this year.
Looking back at the Baltimore series and a 1-run game and a 2-run game, a lot of opportunities for the Royals that weren't cashed in. The Royals were just 3 out of 18 with runners in scoring position. And now Saunders is getting Francoeur to chase pitches up. He got Gordon after pitches down, and now 2 borderline pitches up in the zone, or maybe out of the zone, to Francoeur.
Miguel Montero is calling his pitches. Now he'll probably come with something down in the dirt, maybe.
And it is, and he blocks it, so that keeps Escobar at third and Gordon at first.
Montero is much improved behind the plate. We'll see him go to work here. Thumbs out, cradle that ball in to the center of your chest protector. Keeps it in front of you. But he was an all-hitting catcher. Okay, didn't catch much, but that was his position. And last year in the first half of the season, he made 10 errors. And then all of a sudden, the second half of the year, he started clicking. He started, realizing his importance. And look what happened to the Diamondbacks. They went on and they went to the playoffs. The middle of your field are the most important players on a diamond. Your catcher, your shortstop, second baseman, and your center fielder. The nucleus of the defense. If you get those guys playing at a championship caliber and you have any kind of pitching staff, you're going to win a majority of games without any offense, just with your defense. So Montero, his improvement behind the plate has helped his team big time.
2-2, and that pitching staff you're talking about, they had 4 starters last year that pitched at least 200 innings. Ian Kennedy, Daniel Hudson, who's on the disabled list right now, Joe Saunders starting tonight, and Trevor Cahill. Cahill did his work with the Oakland A's last year, 200 innings. Very shallow center, but Parra comes up to get it. The Royals leave runners at first and third in the first.
Tiford in the bullpen. He is right now listed as Sunday's starter, but he's out in the bullpen in case he were to be needed in long relief tonight. He said that mentally he would keep himself focused on having to come into tonight's game, and then at the same time he would look at some of the information they have available to start studying for Sunday if he needs to go in as a starter. He said also, guys, nice advantage being able to pitch on Sunday if he does after Bruce Chen, who's a similar type of pitcher. Ryan?
All right, thanks, Joel. As Jason Kubel gets jammed and hits it out into shallow left, where Alex comes up to make the play. One down. Well, we're pleased to announce the second finalist in the Fan of the Game sweepstakes from Fiat of Olathe. Jimmy Jones of Lone Jack, Missouri was randomly drawn as one of just 6 finalists in a final drawing to win a Fiat 500 pop. For a chance to win, register at Fiat of Olathe. That's at I-35 and 119th Street exit. Strike 2, Paul Goldschmidt, who was quite a sensation with the Diamondbacks when he was called up late in the year last year. Hit 65 home runs in the minor leagues, 2010, 2011 combined, and then in 40 games with the Diamondbacks last year, he hit 8 home runs. That's worthy of wearing number 44, isn't it?
Got that right. He's a very strong guy, lower half and upper half. And in the postseason last year, he was quite a star. He hit 2 big home runs for him.
Home runs in his first 2 postseason games. Diamondbacks playing the Milwaukee Brewers.
I was at that series sitting in the outfield, and the people, when he hit that first one, the people were going crazy. Then the next night, I think he hit another one.
Mendoza knocks him off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mendoza pitching his game in the first inning. He got 2 ground ball outs, and then he was 0-2 on Justin Upton. So he was an inch from getting out of the inning, but Upton ended up working a walk, and Montero doubled him home. And now Mendoza has his first strikeout.
Okay, he set him up with pitching inside effectively, and he drops this little breaking ball on him here, right on the corner. Showing the Exmo with a Jeep attached to it. If hitters could only slow that ball down like that Exmo camera can, there would be a lot of successful hitters in the game.
And now Cody Ransom goes too far. Strike 1. Cody Ransom. This is a guy that Rex Hudler should be pulling for. Spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. He's bounced around. Came up through the Giants organization. The Royals have seen him with the Yankees, and getting a chance to play this year. He's already established a new career high for RBIs and tied his career high for home runs, and we're only in the middle of May.
Well, that guy Falou there, he knows. He knows all about it. Doesn't want to go back. He knows that if you hack, they can't send you back. And that's why Ransom's getting playing time.
Slow roller, and Moustakas cuts in front of Escobar and guns to first to get Cody Ransom.
Nice. Take everything you can, Moose.
Of breast cancer. She attended the first Coleman, Kansas City Race for the Cure in 1994 and has been a dedicated volunteer ever since. Debbie served for 2 years as the Race for the Cure chairperson and the past 4 years on the local Coleman Board of Directors. Enjoying the game tonight from the Buck O'Neill Legacy seat. 1-0 Arizona on a Miguel Montero double. Johnny Giavitella is the DH. He'll be followed by Mike Moustakas and Mitch Meyer. And Giavitella going the other way, and Upton diving, and he trapped it. Well, Giavitella, it seems like every time he puts the bat on the ball since being called up, he's either hitting the ball to center field or to right field.
And that's good. He's not going up there pull happy. He's letting the ball travel deep in the strike zone. Therefore, he sees it a little bit longer, and then just uses a good little hand swing. Good effort there by Upton. He knows that if that ball gets by him, look at Gio's head position. Good balance. Good bend in that back leg.
Strike from Saunders to Mike Moustakas. And the Orioles were able to cool him down, at least temporarily. 1 for 10 against Baltimore, but still batting at .293. Just made a nice play on defense for the final out of the top of the second.
All right, Escobar loves this. Okay, the shortstop. You want a third baseman that's got range. Take everything you can because your momentum's already going that way. It's an easier play for you. Escobar would have had to stop, plant, and go back and throw. He can make that play, but when you have the Moose at third base, you don't need to.
And in addition to the angle that Escobar has or doesn't have, just watching that replay there, he was reaching out with his bare hand. He was going to have to make a bare-handed grab and throw where Moustakas was able to use his glove. Up the middle, past Aaron Hill. Throw back to second base. Giavitella is there, so Mike Moustakas starts the Arizona series off with a base hit, and the Royals have 2 on with nobody out.
Okay, the Royals milked 26 pitches out of Saunders in that first inning and couldn't scratch a run. Now, they've got to get one here. No outs, first and second. Let's see if Mitch Meyer, they maybe ask him to bunt here. Gio did a good job of stopping at second.
Saunders throws strike 1. Meyer appeared once in the Baltimore series, and it was as a pinch runner in the 8th inning, and the Royals got a tack-on run in the 8th and had that 3-1 lead going into the 9th, but Baltimore came back, tied it in the 9th, won it in the 15th. That is pulled just foul, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Okay, now Meyer has just 4 at-bats all year against the lefty and 1 hit. And that 1 hit was in Oakland, and it was a big fly, home run. I mean, he crushed it. So Ned's not afraid to put Mitch out there against the lefty.
Almost got him on the jersey. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Back to Saunders, and a tough feed for Bloomquist, and that cost the Diamondbacks a double play.
Okay, that throw was just a little bit off the mark there. Shortstops, they want the ball over the bag. When you're a pitcher, just throw the ball over the base. Don't worry about who you're throwing to, although they know before the pitch is thrown who's covering. But the fact that Bloomquist had to alter his jump and then re-grip gave Meyer a chance to get in there. Good call by first base umpire Greg Gibson.
Well, in the first inning, the Diamondbacks failed to turn a double play, and the Royals didn't make them pay for that. And now they fail to turn a double play. And here's Humberto Quintero, who had a 2-run base hit on Wednesday night, and he had a 2-run base hit yesterday against Baltimore.
Quintero's a .235 hitter with runners in scoring position. He has a good short, quick swing when he's not under the ball. He wants to try to stay on top. He likes to shoot the ball to the right field side.
Lined up the left field line. Fair ball. Quintero comes through again. And it will be another 2-run base hit. Royals take the lead in the bottom of the second inning. Well, Rex, early in the year, he was the double machine. Now he's the 2 runs driven in machine.
Go ahead. They'll take production from anywhere they can, top to bottom. Quintero in that bottom slot, he's been hot. Timely hit. Mitch Meyer bringing the mail all the way home from first base. That's a timely hit.
And now Escobar, who leads off for the first time this year, and he singled in the first inning. He is batting at .305.
And he's kind of a, spray type of hitter. So he's going to take the ball wherever it's pitched. He will pull it if Saunders tries to come in there.
1-1. Escobar leading off as Gerard Dyson gets tonight off against the lefty Saunders. And that caught the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He got to the big leagues in 2008. 2009 was his first considerable amount of time in the big leagues, but the first full season was 2010. He batted just .235. Added 19 points to his average last year, and now is up over 300 as Upton goes and makes the play in foul territory. So Quintero is at second base with 2 outs. We remind Royals fans that Girls Night Out is coming up on Friday, June 1st, presented by your Casey Chevy dealers, and the first 10,000 ladies receive a Royals sun hat. Gates will open at 4:30, and pregame activities in the outfield experience will include a fashion show by Macy's, dueling pianos, cooking demos, fragrance samples, and much more. Inside to Irving Falou. He popped to first in the first inning.
He almost got it out there past Goldsmith and got him a base hit.
Pretty good swing, fouled it to the screen. 1-1.
Well, we like to talk about all the miles this guy put in the minor leagues. 949 games. But when you mentioned Cody Ransom, I looked at his minor league games. Cody Ransom, the third baseman here tonight for the D-backs, 1,435 minor league games.
So nobody's going to get on him about not paying his dues.
No one. And these guys know that with that experience, they know how to play the game, but they don't want to go back. So you got to hack. And that's what Irving's been doing himself. Every chance he gets. You made a great point in his first at bat tonight. He's not in there filling in for somebody that's hurt or getting a rest. Ned's going with him because they need somebody to drive the bus and get hot and stay hot. Make it happen. That's when your confidence level really gets good. You start feeling good about yourself. Now I'm in the lineup. I'm hitting second because I'm good.
Popped up again to the right side, and it's Goldschmidt who makes the play near the bag. Humberto Quintero comes through again with a 2-run double, and the Royals have a 1-run lead. A smoother pour. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. It's Quintero time. 2-1 lead to the top of the third inning. He's already had a very productive homestand.
You get that in your first at bat, that makes you feel good for the rest of the night. You feel confident, and you're going to do it again. And Mendoza's got a lead. You can go out there and pound the strike zone down.
3 games for the Royals and 6 RBIs for Humberto Quintero. And all of his 2-run hits have put the Royals in the lead. Aaron Hill. Royals saw him last year and many years before that with the Toronto Blue Jays. Mitch Meyer back in center field and makes a nice running play.
He made that look easy, and that's the hardest play for a center fielder. He took the perfect route. His first step was straight back, and your body will follow your first step. You're going to draw a line from that ball to his route, and it was perfect. If he takes a question mark route, a little turn, and a little hesitation, he misses that ball. That's why he's a valuable player to this team and any team. Guy that can come in, haven't played in 2 weeks, and make a play like that for you in center.
Parra grounded out to second in the first inning. No balls, 2 strikes.
Billy Butler's saying, you know what? Go ahead and hit it to me. He takes pride in his first base. Now I saw him there in spring training working out with all the other guys, and he looked really good. His hands are soft. And I said, Billy, do you like first? He goes, Hud, I love first. They'll never let me out there.
Played 11 games at first base last year after being the regular first baseman the year before that. And Ned Yost hinted in spring training this year that Billy would get more playing time at first this year. This is his 3rd start. And there's a ground ball to Billy, who shows off those soft hands and gets it to Mendoza for the 2nd out.
On cue, we set him up. Could tell Parra was pulling that ball. Gets it over there to Mendoza. They call this PFP, pitchers fielding practice. They do this in their sleep. They do it in spring training before games, and they do it before games at the K here, where they hit balls to the first baseman and pitchers go over and cover, because that's such a big play that happens a lot in baseball.
Willie Bloomquist with 2 outs and nobody on. Bloomquist grounded to 3rd in the first inning. Bloomquist got a lot of playing time in Kansas City. A combination of his play and other players either not playing well or being injured, and now getting a lot of time in Arizona, particularly because of the injury to their regular shortstop Stephen Drew, who broke his ankle last year. Meyer again in center field, and now Mendoza has retired the last 7. third. Our Sprint You Call It question for tonight. The Royals play of the week. Jeff Francoeur made a diving play. Johnny Giavotella got a clutch pinch hit on Sunday in Chicago. On Tuesday in Texas, Tim Collins had 2 scoreless innings with 5 strikeouts. Or Felipe Paulino's 7 scoreless innings against the Orioles on Wednesday. What do you think was the performance of the week? Text 432-432. Enter keyword Royals followed by a space. A for Francoeur, B for Giavotella, C for Collins, or D for Paulino. Billy Butler, deep center field. Parra is all the way back. It is gone.
Billy Butler says, you know what? I don't want to let Quintero drive the bus by himself. I'm going to help the cause. Gets a pitch right out over the plate early in the count, right down the middle where it should have been hit. He went with that perfectly. 4-10, maybe 4-12. Great head position and tremendous follow through. Second home run at the K here for Billy.
And you wonder how much his previous plate appearance had to do with that one. Remember, Saunders and Butler had that long battle, and almost as if Saunders this time around said, I'm not going to mess around with him. I'm just going to give him a pitch to swing at. And Billy homers to center field as Alex Gordon loses half of his bat and grounds out to second base.
You're so right. You have an at-bat like that, you gain confidence. And Gordon unfortunately didn't. He got the same pitch, a ball right over the middle. Saunders, he heard that one coming. He ducked. But he jammed himself on that pitch. That was a ball right over the middle of the plate. His hands were a little bit slow, and he wrapped a little bit. He wrapped the bat, kind of casted it.
During the Baltimore series, we saw a couple of bats. I don't remember seeing this happen, but there were a couple wrecks that not only broke in half, but split down the middle. Bad batch of lumber that arrived at Kauffman Stadium. I mean, we often say, just as a figure of speech, that a bat is shattered when really it's either just fractured or maybe breaks in half. But these bats literally shattered, and Francoeur shatters a Saunders pitch, hits it to the screen in left field, and he's into second base with a 1-out double.
Okay, there's an inside fastball Frenchie knew was coming. So he opened up his front side just a little so he could already get there with his hips. Hips are open some, hands follow. Great head position.
We remind you, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
It's Frenchie's 10th double.
Run home on the Billy Butler home run. And now Francoeur at second. Johnny Giavotella took Saunders to right field for a single in the second inning and scored on the Quintero double.
Okay, I'm watching the right fielder Upman as Saunders was getting ready to pitch, and he walked in 3 steps. Because that's where Giavotella hit that last one. So he's coming up, playing him in.
Two balls, no strikes.
That's the 54th pitch thrown by Saunders.
Let's bring in Joel.
Ryan, I had a chance to talk with both Jeff Francoeur and Kevin Seitzer, and Frenchie was telling me that he really feels like he's getting much closer the last few weeks. Things starting to come around a little bit more, getting back to that approach of up the middle and opposite field. Felt relieved when he hit that home run over the weekend in Chicago, just a burden lifted. Kevin Seitzer said, yes, getting closer. Be a little patient. Don't have to swing at that first pitch. He did the first time up, this time a couple of balls, and then he had the hit.
And now in scoring position for Giavotella. Look out. The bat goes into the Diamondbacks dugout, and Bruce Meyer, our Third base cameraman makes a nice play. Out of way, Bruce.
Where the hell, Bruce? And Gio, because it didn't go in the stands, he gets that one back. Well, that took off the front row there, the players. It hits off of that railing.
The handle got somebody in the back. Look at Bruce.
Bruce with a catch. Bruce, you got bat skills.
Yeah, whatever. Back to work. That away, Bruce. Game face.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah. Again. Not a very good effort by Bruce. If he wanted to, he could have taken a dive over the railing to catch it, but decided that one catch of the bat tonight is enough.
So the bat boy now walks up as he gets his back from Eddie Rodriguez. Bat boy has a little bit of some stickum now, the motor stick. He gives it to him. Oops. Sorry. That's embarrassing. It is, because the time taken between then and when he gets the bat back. All the attention's on him.
And boy, he's just trying to clear out everybody. Bats to the Arizona side, balls to the Royals side.
They're giving him a hard time.
Nobody is safe here. In Colorado yesterday, Justin Upton took a swing and his bat went flying into the stands. And he'd been running out of bats. They're on the road. He had a lot of broken bats, so he asked for the bat back and ended up hitting a home run in the 9th inning with that bat. So, yeah, it's embarrassing when a hitter loses the bat like that, but if you turn it into a home run, that wipes out the embarrassment rather quickly.
Right, and just because they land in the stands doesn't mean that the fan gets to keep it. I think the player can ask for it back. The fan doesn't have to give it, I guess. Sometimes they'll trade bats.
And there's a good plate appearance for Giavitella. Second walk allowed by Saunders. And now 2 on with 1 out. Remember, the fan vote to pick the starters for this year's All-Star game in Kansas City has begun. And you can now vote for all of your favorite Royals players. You can play your part by punching a ballot when you come out to the ballpark, or go to Royals.com/vote and you can crown a Royal. Giavitella has a laugh with Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Two on, 1 out. Butler is homered in the inning. Quintero hit a 2-run double in the second. And here's Mike Moustakas, who had a long streak of games reaching base with a hit, walk, or hit by a pitch stopped in the Baltimore series, and now he has a single in his first at-bat tonight to start a new one.
He's a .296 hitter against lefties before that last hit there. He's been right up around 300.
Goldschmidt plays a difficult hop and comes back to the bag to get Moustakas as Francoeur moves up to third and Giavitella goes to second.
Boy, Gio, he's got to talk to anybody he can that has ears out there.
Pitch Meyer grounded into a fielder's choice in the second inning. That was a big play in the inning because the Diamondbacks had a chance to turn a double play. But Saunders' feed to Willie Bloomquist at second base was high, so no double play. Otherwise, Quintero's double would have scored 1 run instead of 2.
Okay, first pitch fastball in. He's going to try to sweep him away. Maybe they'll come back in there again.
0-2.
He stayed with the fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Meyer pulls it on the ground, and Hill coming in from second shovels it off to Goldschmidt to end the inning. Billy Butler opens the inning with a home run to straightaway center field. His 7th home run of the year. Now the Royals lead by 2.
Keep getting those big hits.
Remind you again that you need to sign up your kids for Slugger's Blue Crew, presented by U.S. Toy. The kids will be part of the fun all summer long. They'll receive a batting practice jersey, a backpack, a water bottle, ticket vouchers, front of the line access for every Sunday fun run, and much more. All of that for just $20. And you can join or sign up your kids right now at Royals.com/Blue Crew. Ball 1-2. Justin Upton down in the count, 0-2 in the first inning, but worked a walk and then scored on Montero's double. Two balls and no strikes. Batting at just .224. Mentioned his 2-run home run in the 9th inning at Colorado yesterday. That was his first home run in 2 weeks. 2-1. It's interesting, the comparisons with Justin and his brother. Both had 20-20 seasons last year, at least 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases. Justin was a first overall pick. BJ was a second overall pick. They both got to the big leagues when they were 19. Both came up as shortstops, and both ended up in the outfield. Other than that, their careers are completely different.
Yeah, amazing too. And their body structure is different too. BJ's a lot leaner and thinner, and his brother Justin's a little bit thicker. He's a little bit more power. But it's an interesting story. Parents got to be really proud of these guys. Keep the ball down. Use your defense.
Still 2-2. Upton injured a thumb very early in the season. In fact, the Diamondbacks' very first season of the year. And even though he's been able to play and avoid the disabled list, some people connected to the team wonder if that hasn't affected his hitting, and maybe still affecting his hitting.
It's like he's taking some pretty healthy rips. That's why it's important that Mendoza stays down in the zone. That ball is on the outer half. He tried to pull it.
Moustakas. Upton is out, and that's 8 in a row retired by Mendoza. Here's our Time Warner pitch speed comparison, and it's a good comparison. Saunders a lefty, Mendoza a righty. Both have topped out at 94. Remember, you can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. Miguel Montero with 2 outs, and Upton at first base doubled in the first inning. That gave the Diamondbacks a 1-0 lead, and now hits one off the thumbs, and Moustakas throws on the run right on target, and 2 more ground ball outs for Mendoza.
First pitch, that'll work. Gave Montero a jam sandwich. Right on his thumb. Here comes Moose in charging. They're going to watch him throw off his right leg. Gather himself, finds the seams. He's good.
And a strike to Chris Young. Moustakas was already showing a lot of signs of improvement at third base early in the season, but ever since making that play on Alex Rodriguez for the final out of the Royals-Yankees series, and you know, we talk so often about a pitcher pitching with confidence, a hitter coming to the plate with confidence. He's playing third base with a lot of confidence.
He is. He's a real pro. He's understanding that he takes pride in what he does out there. Works hard. And especially, he tells me when he's here at the K, you see him, he's doing a little gazing into the stands. He loves to hear the people chant his name. He gets a big smile on his face. He says, Hud, I want to make the next play hit to me for the people. And you know, I saw him in spring training, and I've never seen a third baseman do this. He has a little small glove that he works with. And he was standing in the batting cage with his glove and the pitching machine's on, and he's standing about halfway to the batter's box, and he's catching him. The machine's throwing it, and he's catching it. He's working on his reaction in the batting cage.
Good cut fastball away from Chris Young. And now Mendoza has retired 10 in a row. Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealer. By Panera Bread, 23 KC Metro locations and now open in Brookside. Visit us online at PaneraKansas.com. And by AT&T, the world's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Humberto Quintero. After the first pitch, Willie Bloomquist makes a long throw, and Goldschmidt pulls it out of the dirt. So Quintero, who doubled in 2 runs in the second inning, is out in a ground ball to short to begin the 4th. Saunders hasn't had an easy inning yet. He allowed a single and a walk, but no runs in the first. And then 2 runs, 3 hits in the second. He made a bad feed to Bloomquist at second base on what could have been a double play, and then allowed a run, 2 hits, and a walk in the third. Escobar leading off tonight has singled and fouled out to right. It is 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes.
You know, Saunders, he's in his 6th year. And this guy has already been to the top of the mountain, and he's been to the bottom of the mountain, too. He said he's won as many as 17 games, but he's also lost as many as 17. And that was in 2010 when the Angels traded him for Dan Herron. He went to the Diamondbacks. He ended up going 9-17 that year.
Goldschmidt slides, spins around, and gets it to Saunders, and makes a play that Escobar will make at shortstop to take a hit away. So 2 down, and now Irving Falou, as we look at our Toyota League leaders for tonight, longest rookie hitting streaks in the American League, and Jesus Montero, the young player that went from the Yankees to the Mariners in a trade. He is the only player with a longer hitting streak than Irving Falou.
So after your pitcher Saunders ran over on that last one, why not push one to first, make him run over there again? Falou can do that. He attempted a bunt earlier. If you place it just right, make the first baseman come off the base and field it, you're able to scamper in first.
Oh, that's what he was thinking.
And we're thinking right along the same lines, but you got to get that down.
Falou has popped out to first twice, going after the high fastball, and that's where Montero wanted it. Giving Saunders a high target. He wasn't down in his full crouch. Off the glove of Ransom at third base, and Irving Falou will have an infield single. And I believe that's a winner in the hot watch.
That's right. And it continues his hitting streak. Go ahead, Irvin. Okay, now it's a tough chance here. Short hop. It's a do or die play, basically, for the third baseman. It either sticks in your glove, you wave it, knock it down, or it doesn't. And for Falou, he's lucky. That's a base hit.
So he's hit in 7 in a row, and that's to begin his major league career. Where have you been, Irving Falou?
Says he's been waiting for the call for a long time, never got it. Happens to a lot of guys. Some of them never even get the call. That's what makes it such a beautiful story. When he tripled in his first time up with his mom and brother in the stands, some friends, it was emotional. Alex Rodriguez took the ball from the umpire and handed it to him. He says he'll never forget that moment. Here at the K.
Billy gives Ransom another shot. And over to Goldschmidt. So a scoreless 4th inning for Saunders. The Royals have a 3-1 lead.
Mendoza pitching a very good game. We got news today officially that Danny Duffy and Blake Wood both will be having Tommy John surgery in the next couple of weeks. Hasn't affected Duffy's sense of involvement and humor. We told you the other night he was tweeting all game long. He's out in Arizona, and here are some of the tweets that he's been saying, guys. First off, he said he's going to get Rosetta Stone so he can work better with Salvador Perez. Dude, my Spanish is going to be impeccable after this is all said and done. My Espanol is going to be impregnable. I'm just ferocious. Remember, California talk with some of that. Then throughout the game, Alcides is on fire, dude. Then Moose with about 15 O's and S's and E's. Then Q-Tip, that I believe would be Quintero, doing his thing. I love my squad. I feel very unwelcomed in this Arizona restaurant. Then Michael Moustakas, let's ride. I'm glad you're my third baseman. And finally, Luis Mendoza, the Sultan of Sink. So there you go, cheering on his team. And we got to kind of translate like we do with Rex.
Hey, look, I speak
Duffyisms.
I speak Duffyisms and Californiaisms.
Well, you can relate to the Californiaism. There's a lot of dudes and bros and things.
Which is Californian for sir.
Right. No disrespect meant there. I mean, that's just sometimes
how we talk.
How they're raised.
Now, I've had quite a few years away from Southern California. Released on good behavior, and I've had some of those California-isms purified.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget, Thursday home games is Frenchie quarter night. Come out and cheer on Frenchie in his fan seating section. A $21 ticket gets you a seat in the right field cheering section. A limited edition Frenchie quarter t-shirt and Mardi Gras beads. Learn more at Royals.com/Frenchie. That's 11 in a row retired by Mendoza since the Montero double with 2 outs in the first inning. And in that first, he got a ground ball from Parra, a ground ball from Bloomquist, and then he was 0-2 on Upton. So very close to a 3-up, 3-down inning, but Upton ended up working a walk, and then Montero doubled him in.
Verlander, he had a no-hitter going against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and somebody got a knock off him 8 1/3 innings.
So took it into the 9th. Wow. It's 6-0 Detroit in the top of the 9th. That's in Detroit. Hit well the other way, but right at Francoeur. 12 in a row retired. So 2 down, and now we'll take a look at our AT&T trivia question for tonight. Who are the only 4 ever to win an MVP award and be manager of the year? One is in the house, and the years for him, Kirk Gibson, would be 1988 with the Dodgers, and then last year as manager of the Diamondbacks.
And I'm going to say that Don Baylor's in there in the house too. So he's his coach. That's 2.
How about Frank Robinson? Was he ever manager of the year?
I want to say that could be, and I believe Joe Torre was in there too. I don't know if those are all correct, but those are our guesses. That's pretty distinguished company there. I mean, you know, that's pretty impressive to be able to have an MVP #1, best in the league. And then to do it on the managerial side.
One and 2 on Cody Ransom. Well, apparently we spoiled all the fun, Rex.
Oh man, well we just guessed.
Yeah. Frank Robinson won the MVP award in both leagues. Don Baylor managed the Colorado Rockies. Joe Torre, I believe, won his MVP as a third baseman. That was with the Cardinals.
How about that guy? 45 years young today. Mr. Young. Happy birthday, bud.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He has a son in the major leagues.
And they just left there. The Rockies.
So is he part of those meetings when they go over how to get the Rockies hitters out? Does he have to say, you know, I threw him a lot of batting practice this winter. He can't hit a slider.
Talking about his son.
Eric Young Jr., by the way. Well, I know this. When Buddy Bell was manager of the Royals, and when his teams would face David Bell, his son, this was before he became manager of the Royals, they would keep him out of those meetings. And then his bullpen coach was Fred Kendall, Jason Kendall's father. And they would keep Fred out of the innings when they would go over how to get Jason out when the Royals would be facing the A's or whatever team Jason happened to be playing for.
Well,
Ransom takes a walk with 2 outs.
That's professional. That's good. You want to have your dad selling his son out to the opponents.
Well, and you couldn't, you know, that goes both ways. First of all, you don't want to have a dad put in the position of how to help get his son out, but you know, you couldn't blame a dad if he were to say, you know, here's how they think they can get you out.
Oh,
right?
No.
I mean,
now he's giving tips from the other side.
You can't blame a father for doing that, can you?
No.
So it's a kind gesture, and it's a good tactic at the same time. So that snaps the string. Mendoza had retired 12 in a row. Ransom at first, and Aaron Hill, the number 9 hitter, and out on a fine defensive play in center field by Mitch Meyer, running down a line drive onto the warning track. Escobar will get the force at second base. And now Luis Mendoza, after allowing a run in the first, has strung together 4 scoreless innings. Birthday. We need to wish you a happy birthday. And Drake Mitchum, who's a member of the Morse Elementary Royals, 8 years old today, enjoying the game with his friends and his mom, who probably helped him make the sign. And he's enjoying a Royals 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 5th.
It's great for Drake to be 8. Congratulations, bud. And he's with his buddies here, hanging out. They're hoping to see a little bit more offense to go with the outstanding pitching of Mendoza. If they can get a few more big base hits, it's good. Now, what are they, just 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position? Man, they could have a bunch more. And in this game, you get greedy. You want more. More runs.
There are so many statistics you could use to break down a team, but the ones that stand out when a team is on a winning streak, normally there's good pitching and there's good timely hitting. Those are the two consistents. And when the Royals won 4 in a row, the final 2 games in Chicago and then the 2 games in Texas, the ERA was 1.5, and the Royals are hitting about .350 with runners in scoring position.
And with the Royals defense as good as it is, I'm sure that factored in as well.
Saunders got some glove on it, so that slowed it down for Aaron Hill, and Alex grounds out for the 3rd time. Tomorrow's game will be on the Fox network, and Rex will be joining Darren Sutton, who is the television voice of the Arizona Diamondbacks and does several games for the Fox network, and a great friend of mine. Darren and I go way back. Our dads played together with the Dodgers, and last year Joel was nice enough to have us on Royals Live together, and I've got pictures when Darren was 2 and I was 1 at the Dodger father-son game.
Way to go.
And I took him deep.
That's awesome. And look at you, both big leagues as broadcasters.
Darren's father, Don Sutton, a baseball Hall of Famer and now a broadcaster with the Atlanta Braves.
Pretty nice that you would talk him into wearing Royals colors as a member of the Diamondbacks broadcasting team.
Well, he's about 6'5", but I'll take him down if I have to. Another guy that you know very well. In fact, when you were broadcasting for the Angels, Darren was doing some radio, and Jose Mota, who is still there and does English and Spanish broadcasts and played for the Royals briefly. The 3 of us used to hang out in the clubhouse. Jeff Francoeur 1 for 3 with a fly out to center field. Had a double back in the 3rd inning, and now 2 down in the 5th. Remember, you can follow the Royals with the MLB.com @Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text @Bat to 31826 or visit Royals.com for more details. 0-1 on Johnny Giavotella.
Okay, Johnny was guessing first pitch fastball, and Sondo pulled the string on him. Joe Saunders.
1-1. Giavotella singled and scored in the 2nd, and he walked in the 3rd. And he's gone with the batting gloves, Rex, after losing the grip with no batting gloves twice in his last plate appearance.
Okay, first time we've seen him use them.
Bruce Meyer, our cameraman at 3rd base.
He's happy.
Caught the bat, saving women and children around him. That was the first time that Giavotella lost the grip. Up the middle and into center field. Giavotella on base for the 3rd time tonight.
Two knocks and a walk. That'll work. Hit the top half of the ball, stay in the middle of the field, biggest hole in the diamond.
He has really done a nice job since coming up. He's had quite a few hard hit outs, but really work in the middle of the field and going the other way. And now Moustakas, who is singled and grounded out, 1 for 2. Almost hit on the hip. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike.
Okay, this is the 5th inning, and Is Moustakas' jersey clean? Take a picture of that. I'm a little bit shocked.
Heads up. That was over near Joel's suite.
You know, I didn't look closely enough. Moustakas, he's dirty. He slid. He's got some dirt.
Go.
Yeah, we didn't see that, but you know this.
But
guy,
that's clean for him.
It is. Normally he likes to dive for balls in the infield. He's got grass stains on him. You know, it's not easy, but the Royals have a guy that takes care of that. Patrick Gorman, been here 17 years down there. He cleans the red clay, the grass stains, puts the patches on the holes of the pants that these guys have. Patrick Gorman does a lot of good things.
Joel, did you come close to making that play?
No, I had somebody that was closer to making it, and I know you've worked with him for many years, and the comment won't surprise you. It almost got or was almost caught by Bob Davis, who's sitting next to me right now, and Bob said, I almost got hurt.
Moustakas after a pitch in the dirt. And for Saunders, that's his first strikeout, and now he's had back-to-back scoreless innings. Luis Mendoza, the Royals have scored 3 runs, and now Mendoza hasn't allowed a single run since that first inning.
You know what? He seizes this opportunity. He can tell they need a solid guy that they can count on to go out and eat up some innings. I'm your guy. Hello. Give me a few runs and watch me go to work. That's his mentality. It's what he needs to do. Let them know that he's ready and willing to take that job and keep the ball down and keep his tempo going.
He's retired 13 of the last 14. Going back to Montero's double in the first inning. So top of the order, 3rd time through. And Gerardo Parra has grounded out twice. And Parra lines it to center field. And he is 1 for 3. It's just the 2nd hit all night for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So Montero with the RBI double with 2 outs, that scored Upton. And then Humberto Quintero, 3rd straight game, he's had a 2-run base hit. It was a double tonight, scoring Giavotella and Meyer. And then Billy Butler leading off the 3rd inning. Homer to center field off of Saunders, and now both pitchers settling in somewhat. Saunders has retired 8 of the last 10, and Mendoza has retired now 13 of the last 15. Bloomquist, past Falou and into center. Parra's going to run on Mitch Meyer, and Mitch decides to go to second base, keep the double play in order. First and third and nobody out.
Okay, Parra, he's a speed guy. Diamondbacks going to take a little small window here and say, let's get back into this game. 2-hop worm burner right past Falou. Parra even hesitated at second just a little bit to make sure. He wasn't sure. He kind of slowed down right here, and then he said, no, I'm going. You don't want to make that first out at third base, but sometimes you take a chance, especially when your team's down a couple. It's a good play.
And if you're Meyer, knowing that you have a ground ball pitcher on the mound, there's always a chance for 2 outs with 1 good pitch. Upton walked and scored in the first, and then he grounded out in the fourth. And that stroke to left field. Alex will play it on a bounce. It's 3-2. And first and second with nobody out.
See how things happen in baseball? Just all of a sudden, guy gets a little base hit, and here comes another one, and then another one. Dave Island wants to stop it right now. That ball's in off the plate. A little bit up, but it was in 2 inches. Fought it out there to left. See the importance of when you have the opponent in trouble with guys in second and third. You got to really just focus and bear down a little bit more when runners are in scoring position if you're the Royals.
Fans, the Royals, Fox Sports Kansas City, and the state of Missouri are teaming up to help you stop smoking now. The state of Missouri tobacco quit line is at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Kelvin Herrera warms up after Dave Island went to the mound. Now, Mendoza is at 75 pitches, and you say to yourself, well, that's not a lot. But for him, as a starter this year, he's gone about 77 pitches per start. He's had a couple of long relief appearances and averaged about 79 pitches per appearance. So he's big enough and he's strong enough to throw 100 pitches, but he hasn't really had a long outing yet this year. And interesting note here, as a reliever, he's actually pitched better and he's pitched deeper into games. He's gone 5 innings per game as a reliever, but as a starter, about 4 1/3 innings per game.
Yeah, interesting dynamic. But right here, he wants to get an off-speed pitcher something down, and he can get Montero to roll over. He's already grounded into 5 double plays this year. Make it 6 and get the next batter and get out of the inning. Easier said than done. That's what Dave Island wants him to do.
Fouled off of Montero's foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Montero had been just 2 for his previous 17 when he doubled in a run in the first inning. And then Mendoza got him on a ground ball to third in the fourth. Got him with a slider in the dirt. So a strikeout, no advance. Mendoza's 3rd strikeout, 1 away.
Okay, now he'll have to deal with Young. This is a good pitch on an aggressive hitter. He wanted to knock in a run, swing out of the strike zone. Young's a lot quicker. He'll be hard to double up.
Back from the disabled list for the first time tonight. He is lined to second and struck out. Been out since April the 18th. Bloomquist at second, Upton at first. Ball 1. Done a good job of, for the most part, keeping the ball down. Mendoza has recorded 16 outs tonight and only 5 of those have been in the air. Everything else either on the ground or a strikeout.
They're a little bit concerned with one out here about the base runners. Bloomquist has 4 stolen bases, and Upton, he's got 6. So they want to stay out of the double plays. You see Irving Fallou's giving up some ground there at second base. He's giving up some ground.
2-0. Two balls, 1 strike.
Okay, go down in there. Keep it down. Young's a .455 hitter with runners in scoring position, so he's been swinging a hot bat with runners out there.
Now Quintero wants to go out and visit with Mendoza, make sure they're on the same page with a 2-1 pitch coming up to Chris Young. Diamondbacks trying to come from behind with the Royals leading 3-1 before this inning, and they had the most come from behind wins in the major leagues last year. 48 of their 94 wins were come from behind. Another pickoff attempt at second base, and Bloomquist just back in.
Well, when your team develops that characteristic, that carries over into the next season as well. You're saying, guys, look, we've been here before, let's go, and it instills that no quit attitude.
Runners go, and it's lined over Moustakas. That'll tie the game at least, and now the ball gets under Gordon's glove, and Arizona will take the lead as Chris Young. It was a big emotional lift for the Diamondbacks just to get him back, and now he comes through to put Arizona in front with a 3-run 6th inning.
Well, I had an idea Gibson was going to move those runners. So did the Royals, because they both can run. Now, that ball that Gordon gets to left field, he had a little bit of a tough time with it, and that's a really difficult play up against the wall, and the ball got there at the same time. I think they're going to give Gordon an error. Look at Moose showing off his hops. But this ball gets down there, and Gordon gets to it right when it meets the wall, and he missed on his first chance, so they're going to say that Young wouldn't have scored without the error.
So 1 RBI. And for Alex, his first error this year, and now with the left-hand bat, Jason Kubel, and an open base, the Royals will put Kubel on and go after Paul Goldschmidt.
Mendoza, he's in his starts and relievers appearances this year, he's had a few big innings. And this is one here, it's going to have to stop. So they put Kubel on, set up a ground ball double play to a guy who looks like he's a lane ball candidate. Lane ball is another term pitchers and players use for a double play ball. Put him in the lane.
Mendoza has been very good early in the game, Rex. Great numbers early in the game. Look at that. An ERA under 1. Opponent's batting average .214. No home runs. And I mentioned when this inning started, this was the 3rd time through the order. So all the Diamondbacks coming into the 6th had 2 at-bats to get a look at Mendoza. Mendoza's never faced the Arizona Diamondbacks. He has faced 2 hitters in the lineup before tonight. That was Bloomquist and Hill. And now the Diamondbacks have made their adjustment, and they've scored 3 in the 6th inning.
And the tempo's dragging here. Quintero goes out again. Second visit. Dave Island went out. 3 visits.
Pounded foul by Goldschmidt, who was lined to right and struck out against Mendoza. One and one. In the first 5 innings, the Diamondbacks had 1 run on 1 hit. And Mendoza had retired 13 out of 14 going into this inning. And the Diamondbacks greeted him with 3 straight hits. They have 4 hits total in the inning. There has been an error and an intentional walk, and Arizona's in front.
You see how important tempo is. It's way too long in between pitches.
That's the pitch that Goldschmidt went after when he struck out in the second inning. Three balls, 2 strikes. Well, you're right. Early in the game, I mean, he was getting the ball. He wasn't wandering around the rubber at all, and he was just rapid fire, one pitch after another.
Well, he's kicking at the ground. He's messing around with the rubber. Hitters read that. They say, look, he's a little nervous here.
He's able to strike out Goldschmidt for the second time tonight. And that's 4 in the game, and Ned Yost is going to come get him.
Okay, executes a really good pitch here. But the wheels were just starting to come off. You could tell with his tempo, looked like his confidence. But you know what? Nice job. It's all right.
So 2 on, 2 out. Chevy called to the bullpen. Kelvin Herrera will pitch to Cody Ransom when we come back. Mendoza allowed 1 run, 1 hit in the first 5 innings. The Royals had a 3-1 lead, and now the Diamondbacks with 3 runs, 4 hits against Mendoza. So he comes out after 5 2/3 innings. 5 hits, 3 runs so far, and he leaves behind 2 for Kelvin Herrera. Chris Young at second base, Jason Kubel at first, and Herrera will be pitching to Cody Ransom.
Good hard fastball. Upper 90s, changeup that's filthy at about 88, 89.
Herrera last appeared on Wednesday, came on in a 2-0 game in the 8th, allowed a run. The Royals got that run right back in the bottom of the 8th. Runners go. The throw goes to second base. And what a heads-up play by Quintero. He had no chance to get Young, and he gets Kubel at second.
Nice.
It's our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Mike Slusher from Greenwood, Missouri. And if the Royals hit a home run this inning, Mike will win $3,600. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Mike will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Missouri's Autobahn, Greenwood, Missouri.
Okay, make it happen here. Got to get some back. D-backs got 3 in the 6th. We got to match it. Saunders is getting close to being out of this game. Upper 90s. That's his 98th pitch. Brad Ziegler's warming up in their pen.
One and 2 on Mitch. Reached on a fielder's choice. Could have been a ground ball and a double play, but Saunders made a poor throw to second base. And now strikes out in a curve in the dirt. Saunders has struck out 2. Didn't strike anyone out for 4 2/3 innings, and now he's struck out his last 2 hitters. Final out of the 5th, first out of the 6th, and here's Humberto Quintero, who's our AT&T Uverse reverse replay.
Man, go ahead. Just keep that swing nice and short. This is what they need. Runners in scoring position with some big hits. That away Quintero, and he continued tonight. Got 2 more RBIs.
Two-run base hit on Wednesday against Baltimore. 2-run base hit yesterday against Baltimore, and a 2-run base hit tonight against Arizona. Kubel makes the play in left field. So Quintero is 1 for 3, and now there are 2 outs in the 6th. We remind you our copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. Ryan Lefevre with Rex Hudler and Joel Goldberg with director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Joe Lavero, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the rest of our great Fox Sports Kansas City crew. Game 1 of 3 with the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Royals had a 3-1 lead until Arizona scored 3 in the top of the 6th. Alcides Escobar leading off tonight as Gerard Dyson gets a game off. Singled in the first inning. He's 1 for 3 and batting .301. To the right side, Aaron Hill runs it down, sets his feet, and throws him out. And now Saunders has retired 11 of the last 13 Royals. By Panera Bread with 23 locations and coming soon to Brookside. Visit us at PaneraKansas.com. And by AT&T Uverse, the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. Joe Saunders over 100 pitches, was in trouble in the first 3 innings tonight, but now 3 good innings, 104 pitches. He has retired 11 of the last 13. Diamondbacks lead by 1 as Cody Ransom fouls it back and out of play. Royals trying to reverse a trend, or at least put an end to a trend on this homestand where they have a lead and lose it late. They'll still have 3 more at bats tonight. Good pitch by Herrera, and it's 0-2 on Ransom, who is standing at the plate with 2 outs in the 6th inning when the Diamondbacks try to double steal, and Quintero threw to the trail runner and nailed Kubel at second base. At the knees, and Ransom strikes out, and that's Herrera's first.
This is Herrera's 19th game this year. That's second in the league for relievers for games in the league. They're using him because he's extremely effective. Look at the X-Men. We're going to show this kid. He's got a very hard fastball, and then the changeup comes out of the same arm speed as that blazing fastball, and it fools a lot of hitters.
Aaron Hill lined to center. Meyer made a nice play on the warning track, and he grounded to short. 0 for 2.
It's an occasional breaking ball you just saw.
Aaron Hill was really struggling last year for the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays and Diamondbacks made a trade that worked for both teams. And Aaron Hill was hitting .225 for Toronto and played 33 games with Arizona and hit .315. Hits it into right center, and Meyer makes the play for the second out. And Gerardo Parra, who was 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts, but leading off the 6th inning, he singled against Mendoza. Bloomquist singled. Upton singled, driving in a run with 1 out. Young doubled, driving in a run, and then a 3rd run scored on an error. One and one. Falou throws out Parra. Very good 7th inning for Herrera. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. Royals down by 1. Missouri getaway. The St. Louis Art Museum, housing more than 30,000 pieces from nearly every culture and time, including the Oceanic period, the pre-Columbian period, that's a personal favorite, Chinese, 19th and 20th century European and American, and a large collection of 20th century German paintings. The museum is the only permanent building remaining from the 1904 World's Fair.
In his early career as a Royal, Mike Moustakas has already proven that no liner is too hot, no pitch unhittable, and no moment is too big for the 23-year-old sophomore sensation. Show your appreciation by voting for the Royals' third baseman. Crown a Royal. Vote Mike Moustakas to the 2012 All-Star Game in Kansas City.
Royals down by 1, bottom of the 7th inning. And here is Brad Ziegler, who grew up in Odessa, Missouri, as a Royals fan. Born in Pratt, Kansas. Royals have seen him with the Oakland A's, where he had a phenomenal beginning to his career. Traded to the Diamondbacks last year, so this is his first full season in Arizona. And Irving Falou hits it up the right field line toward the corner, and he's going to run on Upton, and Upton couldn't come up with it cleanly, and Falou is 2 for 4, and the tying run is at second base with nobody out.
Yeah, I like that. He laid one out there down the line, and he knew coming out of the batter's box that he was going to get 2 on it, okay? He knew it was going to be close because Upton hustles to the ball. He gets to it, and he challenged him, and sometimes it's hard to find that handle. And he was able to go in there with a clean double. That's what they need to get something started here. Ziegler's kind of funky. He's got a little sinker slider from that arm angle. He'll cut his fastball in, a little bit of a change up occasionally.
There's a ground ball to the right side. Good at bat for Billy Butler. He is out, and that gets Falou over to third. So Billy's done a little bit of everything tonight. He has a walk, he has a home run, and good situational hitting there to get the tying run 90 feet away from home.
Okay, that's called a productive out. He was trying to do that. He wanted to get a base hit, but he was trying to hit it to the right side to move him over. And Kevin Seitzer, he's going to give him a little love, but also he makes a note of that in his book. He'll write down productive outs, keep track of those kind of things. Now it's going to pull Kirk Gibson's Diamondbacks. The Snakes are coming in. Opens up the field a little bit for Gordon.
Down and away, Alex couldn't resist. 3 ground outs tonight.
It's out of the zone. Sinker goes down and away from lefties. Throw a little bit of a slider in on the hands.
Riding outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ziegler got the win yesterday in Colorado. He threw 1 pitch and got the final out at the bottom of the 8th, and then the Diamondbacks took the lead in the 9th. 1 pitch and he gets a W.
He'll take it. Putting him right back out there again.
One and two.
Got to be able to get this run home here some way. And when an infield comes in like that, hitters, they look at that and they say, all right, you want that. Because any little balls you hit to their left or right or through, it decreases their range when they come in. Now they're trying to sort of play at the plate if one's at them.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Alex has 1 plate appearance against Ziegler, and that was a walk. Base hit into right field. Royals tie the game in the 7th.
First 2 hitters before him allowed him to do that. Double by Falou. Butler got him over, and this gets him in on a ball that drifted right back over the plate. Gordon stayed on it.
So that means no win for Joe Saunders, who departed with the lead. Jeff Francoeur doubled in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. And chopped to Bloomquist. Out at second. And a good hard slide by Alex Gordon, taking Hill out of the play.
Well, that's one of the many reasons I like watching this baseball team, and the Kaufman faithful do too, is these guys play hard. They don't quit, they don't give up, and going into second base is a part of the game. That's a good late slide Gordon had on him and Hill couldn't get the throw off. Says, you know what? I think I'll just put that in my pocket. Ouch, that little late slide on the base there, that'll hurt you sometimes. Gordon looks like he's all right there.
And now Ziegler will get Johnny Giavotella working on a perfect night. Singled and scored in the 2nd inning. He walked in the 3rd, and then he singled to center in the 5th. At the knees, or at least called at the knees, strike 1.
Francoeur, you know, he's a situational base stealer. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere with that lead.
Fouled it off of his foot. 0-2.
Dean, was that?
Okay. Johnny, go, Johnny, go. Here it is. Nice hit to right field in his first at bat. Then he'll take another knock as it runs right through the middle. And he mixed in a walk in between those. Down 0-2, a deceptive and tough pitcher in Ziegler to figure out. Try to keep that front side closed as long as you can.
Plays off the slider, 1-2.
So you don't even really want to stride if you're a right-handed batter on this guy. You don't even want to stride. That'll help keep your front shoulder closed, keep your front hips in. Tendency is for those to leak open, and then you just, all you have left is a little ground ball swing.
Ziegler got a glove on it, and Hill makes a nice play to grab it with his bare hand and throw out Giavotella. The Royals tie the game. Falou gets on, Gordon gets him in.
Tied at 4. Busy night of baseball. Panera takes us around the league. We'll look at the American Central teams in interleague. White Sox beat the Cubs 3-2. Paul Konerko goes deep, but also got hit in the face. You saw Miami, Cleveland, Detroit 6-0. Justin Verlander, the story, and Minnesota on top. As for Kerry Wood, announced he was going to retire. They've let him play one more time. Came in, got a strikeout, hugs his son, standing O. What a great career and wonderful moment. Justin Verlander, 9th inning, and that is Josh Harrison breaking up the no-hitter. Go figure, guys. It's interleague play. They're in the American League, so that was their leadoff #1 hitter who was in there DHing for the day. One more story for you. The AAA debut of Jake Odorizzi, 6 2/3, 3 earned runs, and 4 strikeouts in his debut for Omaha as the Storm Chasers losing in the 8th. Guys?
All right. Thank you, Joel. Bloomquist, left center field. Alex on it quickly to hold him to a single. So right after the Royals tie it in the bottom of the 7th, here come the Diamondbacks with the leadoff man on, and Bloomquist has base hits in his last 2 at-bats. Herrera recorded the final out of the 6th in relief of Mendoza, and then retired the 3 hitters that he faced in the 7th. And now we're back into the meat of the Diamondbacks order. Justin Upton at the plate, followed by Miguel Montero and Chris Young. Upton walked and scored in the 1st, grounded out in the 4th, and singled with an RBI and scored in the 6th. He was just 9 for 52, 9 for his last 52 coming into the game. But one of those 9 hits was a 2-run home run in the 9th inning yesterday at Colorado as the Diamondbacks split a 2-game series with the Rockies. Arizona's only won 4 of its last 15 games. ball, 1 strike.
They're a little like the Royals as far as playing at home with a 7-12 record. They're going to have a difficult time winning there as well.
Interesting, though, they have the same record after 39 games this year as they did after 39 games last year. Last year, they turned that into a 94-win season. Broken bat, look out. Bat goes in the stands. Luckily, nobody was hurt. Bloomquist goes first to third, and Upton has his 3rd hit. Thankfully, that bat landed on the stairs.
No question, especially jagged edge and all. But, you know, when you're going good, you get hits like that. That'll send Bloomquist all the way around now. Royals in trouble, 1st and 3rd. Ned's coming out. They're going to make a change.
So Herrera is out, and Tim Collins is in. 4-4 tie in the 8th. Community last year, and the Royals continue to do great work in the community. In fact, tomorrow the Royals and Chiefs will be joining forces with Operation Blessing International. They'll be feeding more than 3,000 people in need in the Kansas City area at 30th and Troost tomorrow from 11 a.m. to noon. And Rex Hudler is going to be there, Billy Butler is going to be there, and Johnny Giavotella is going to be there.
Great opportunity to reach out to the people, man. It's great to go into the public with this opportunity these guys have to wear their uniform, to be able to be in a position like this, to go out and hang out with the Chiefs and hang out with the people and help feed those that are in need.
Tim Collins' first pitch is high, ball 1, and this is the type of thing, you did quite a bit of this when you were with the Angels.
Love to do anything in the community we can. It's so fun as a player and as a broadcaster, and these guys know it's all about giving back. It's about what you can do for others that really make you a significant person in the media or on the field. And it's fun to do. You get to meet people. You get to go out and shake hands and say, hey, guys, can we help you? It's fun.
That's tomorrow, 11 a.m. to noon. Again, that's 30th and Troost in Kansas City, Missouri. Again, Rex out there with Johnny Giavotella, Billy Butler, and others. Tim Collins, 30 strikeouts in relief. That's the most in the American League, and he had that great performance on Tuesday night in Texas. 2 scoreless innings, 6 up, 6 down with 5 strikeouts, and Mitch Meyer didn't quite get his glove on it. The Diamondbacks will regain the lead, and here comes Upton around third base. Escobar's throw is not in time, and the Arizona Diamondbacks have a 2-run 8th inning.
Nice effort by Myers to get to that. He dove and did all he could to catch it, went off his glove. But you got to give Matty Williams, the third base coach, a little bit of credit for sending Upton all the way. Okay, the tag was going to be there. Myers just couldn't quite get it. And Upton, he read it. He was at second base. And I thought they had a chance to get him out. And Matty Williams just waved him home.
So those runs will be charged to Herrera. And now right-hand batter for Chris Young, or for Tim Collins. It is Chris Young, and he's trying to bunt his way on. It didn't matter, right-hand batter or left-hand batter against Collins on Tuesday in Texas. And in particular, Collins just had an absolutely devastating curveball.
It fell out of the sky, punching out 5 out of the 6 Rangers. Now that pitch that the catcher just hit, Montero, that was a fastball up and a little bit out over the plate, and he was ready for it.
Montero has driven in 3 of the 6 runs for the Diamondbacks, and he has 2 doubles, and now he's at second. Still nobody out for Young. And there's a curve, and it is 1-2. Royals bullpen for a long stretch was coming in and just turning out the lights. They had a stretch of 26 innings, allowing just 3 earned runs. But now in the last 3 games, the bullpen 12 1/3 innings and 7 earned runs.
You know, it's hard to keep a good streak intact like that because these hitters are all good hitters, and they feed off anything at the plate. They're aggressive, and sometimes you get the big hit, and that was what Montero did there off of Collins. So they'll have to execute back in the zone again like they did when they were hot.
And Young got a curveball and strokes it to left. Alex makes the play. Montero goes back to second base, and there is 1 out. And now Collins will get a left-hand batter. Jason Kubel, the former Minnesota Twin. We saw a lot of him in the Central Division, signing with the Diamondbacks as a free agent. And somewhat of a surprise in Arizona, Gerardo Parra won a Gold Glove last year playing in left field. He hit .292, had a career season, but Diamondbacks wanted to go out and add an extra bat, and they signed Kubel.
That's a pretty bold move, really, by Kevin Towers, their GM. Got a guy who just came off one of his best seasons ever and left, and he went out and got another left fielder, but he wanted some more left-handed power, and he got that in Kubel. He's a good hitter.
Kubel got some big hits playing for Minnesota against the Royals. So many times the Royals would survive getting through Mauer and Morneau and Kadire, and boy, you let your guard down for just one hitter, and many times it was Kubel who then would come up with the big hit. And he was one of many Minnesota Twins on the disabled list last year.
He had like 3 or 4 years in a row with over 20 home runs for the Twins.
Good fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good spot on the outside corner. Now he's a strikeout pitcher. Collins is. He needs one here.
Escobar made a move for second base. Chatting it up with Montero, who wants nothing to do with it.
Right.
You don't want a guy talking to you. He just trying to pick you off. And a couple of guys from Venezuela, I mean, who knows, they might hang out during the offseason. And 1 minute, they're talking about the good old times back in Venezuela. And the next minute, Escobar's trying to sneak in behind him to pick him off.
Well, Escobar's telling him to quit messing up the dirt in front of shortstop. That's what he's telling him.
And now Kubel walks with 1 out. So Collins has given up a double. He has recorded an out and now a walk. And speaking of walking, Ned Yost is out of the dugout again. He has Lewis Coleman warming up in the bullpen. And that's what Ned wants, with right-hand hitter Paul Goldschmidt coming up. This will be the third Royal. And the fans have come out for the Royals and the Diamondbacks. Buck night, fireworks after the game, 33,694. Game 1 of 3 with Arizona. Tomorrow will be on the Fox network. Rex Hudler will be teaming up with Diamondbacks play-by-play announcer Darren Sutton. Tomorrow's game is at 6:15. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock on Fox. And here comes Lewis Coleman with 2 on, 1 out. 2 home for the Diamondbacks. Royals just tied it at 4 in the 7th, and now Arizona with 2 on Miguel Montero's 2-run double. And Coleman throws a strike to Paul Goldschmidt. He struck out twice and lined to right, all those at bats against Luis Mendoza.
Lewis wants to induce that ground ball, get out of this inning.
One and one.
Coleman's going to sweep the slider away, use a little fastball, 3/4 arm slot, occasional changeups. Anything going down is what he wants. Escobar, he's waiting for a ground ball. Ooh.
Got to pitch up.
Not there. Not to this guy. A good quick swing.
And Goldschmidt is off to a slow start, hitting just .225 and only 2 home runs so far. But we mentioned earlier in the game, he had 65 home runs 2010, 2011 combined in the minor leagues. And he got him looking at a slider. So Coleman gets the second out with a strikeout. Now Cody Ransom, who struck out, walked, and grounded out to third. 0-1. Diamondbacks, for the most part, just a middle of the pack offense. 9th in the league, in their league, in batting average. Of course, there's 16 teams in the National League. 8th in runs scored, 8th in home runs. They are 2nd in stolen bases, so that's one of their standout categories. And slow starts for a lot of key players. Their hottest hitter, Chris Young, went on the disabled list early in the year. But a lot of big bats with down years so far. Just they've been waiting for their offense to break out. 6 runs, 8 hits tonight against the Royals. And this is certainly a team that the Royals can look to as far as turning things around. A young team, good young players. The Diamondbacks were in last place in 2009 and 2010, and then won 94 games last year and won the National League West. A 29-game improvement for Arizona last year, the biggest in all the major leagues. Lewis Coleman comes on, faces 2 and strikes out 2, but Arizona regains the lead 6-4.
Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery getting ready for Boulevard Royals Live. We'll talk about Luis Mendoza, a one-hitter through 5, but ends up leaving with 5 hits and 4 runs of damage. Ned Yost reaction. And we'll get you ready for the rest of the weekend. Baseball on Fox tomorrow night. Darren Sutton and Rex Hudler, Bruce Chen, Ian Kennedy. And then on Sunday, Everett Teaford, Wade Miley, the matchup. Hy-Vee Royals Live, plays of the week starting at 12:30. So looking forward to all of that. And Ryan, do want to update you. I told you Omaha was losing before. They have tied the game. It started with 21-year-old Will Myers in the bottom of the 8th. A triple. He was brought around to score by Clint Robinson. Myers now 3 for 4 tonight with a double and a triple, 5 for 9 to start his AAA career.
All right, thanks, Joel. So a solid start for Jake Odorizzi in his AAA debut. And now Will Myers getting into the action.
Hey, here they come down on the farm. They're growing them, working their way to hope to become a big leaguer here and help out. Speaking of that, they've got to get on their hit machine here. Get them on, get them over, get them in here if they want to get back in this one. Breslow's a left-hander. He's got a little cut fastball and a changeup.
and falls behind. Moustakas 3-0. Moustakas had a single back in the second inning, 1 for 3. Speaking of Royals crops, if you will. 3-1. Joe Saunders went 6 for Arizona. Got into trouble in his first 3 innings, but then buckled down and retired 11 of the last 13. Here's Kubel coming up in left field, and Moustakas is the first out of the 8th. Royals tied the game at 4 against Brad Ziegler, but then Arizona came back with 2 in the 8th inning to regain the lead.
You know, this lefty Breslow, what an interesting guy. He's got a degree in molecular
Hard to say.
biophysics and biochemistry from Yale University. So he has a large brain.
There's a really neat story behind that. He specialized, he said, in stem cell research in that major, and he became interested in studying medicine after his sister Leslie was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in 1991. Leslie's fine now, thankfully, but that's what got that mind going, and wanted to study that in college.
He'll have a nice future when he's out of this game.
One ball, 2 strikes. Mitch Meyer getting the start in center field. Gerard Dyson getting an evening off. Mitch is 0 for 3, but scored a run in the second inning. Made a nice play in center field in the third on Aaron Hill. Both Dyson and Hosmer getting the night off, at least from the starting lineup. For Hosmer, it's back-to-back games.
Well, he's having some mental timeouts now. Some people thought that Ned should have done that earlier, but he's made so many hard outs. Hitting the ball right at people, at 'em balls left and right, and the whole thing through it is, at least we've never seen him snap. I've never seen him throw his helmet, his bat. Now sometimes they might go in the tunnel. I don't know what goes on under there outside of being down there, and know that guys sometimes snap, but he's showing no outward signs of frustration.
Now wait a minute. As Meyer flies to center, you say you don't know what goes on down at the tunnel. I would like to know what Kyle Venna would have to say about you in the tunnel here at Kauffman Stadium. Kyle Venna, now part of the baseball operations part of the Royals, but when you were a player, he was a bat boy. Go ahead, finish the story.
Well, I accidentally threw my bat in rage, and a little bit
accidentally,
a little snap. Good. I know, but I didn't mean to accidentally hit the porcelain toilet and blow it up. And when it happened, water shot everywhere, and I told myself, "Self, you weren't that angry to do that. I didn't mean to do that. Darn it, what am I going to do now?" I left a little note on there and said, "Hey, I did it. Sorry." Went on with the game. But the most impressive thing, if you ask me, was that 2 innings later, there was a new commode in there. Billy almost got that one.
I'm telling Quintero, "Hey, come on, man. You're the big RBI guy the last 3 days. Let's put the ball in between the white lines."
Oh, it hit right off.
Did it hit him?
What the? You know, it missed him. But no, some guys go down underneath and they snap.
So it was like a NASCAR pit stop almost, the way they replaced the toilet, you're saying. And you just broke it to pieces?
Yeah.
How many pieces would you estimate?
It exploded. Now, I wouldn't suggest anyone ever do that, but it was pretty cool. It made a large noise, and a few guys came down and said, "Hud, what'd you do now?" And I just said I accidentally did a boo-boo. So the next spring, I got a bill for $375.
There you go.
But getting back to Hosmer, he's been able to contain his frustration as far as we've seen.
And just to add to it, I haven't seen him hang his head once. Breslow comes out of the bullpen and gets Moustakas, Meyer, and Quintero. So we go to the 9th inning, 6-4 Arizona. Arizona scored in the first. Royals got 2 in the second, 1 in the third. So Royals had a 3-1 lead, and that lasted until the 6th when Arizona scored 3. So they had a 1-run lead, 4-3, but the Royals got a run in the 7th to tie it. Arizona 2 in the 8th to regain the lead. It'll be Aaron Hill, the number 9 hitter, followed by Gerardo Parra and Willie Bloomquist. Aaron Hill is lined to center, grounded to short, and flied to right, and his line out to center field resulted in a good play by Mitch Meyer, who's starting in center field tonight, running onto the warning track to get it. Mendoza went 5 2/3 and gave up 4 runs. Kelvin Herrera went an inning and a third and gave up 2 runs. Tim Collins went 1/3. That's foul off the left field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, when you're a ball boy or a ball girl, you got to be ready. And that ball played him.
Popped into right center. Francoeur wants it, so Meyer peels away. Aaron Hill is 0 for 4. Coleman called up just a couple of days ago, and the Royals again needing some fresh arms in the bullpen. So Nate Adcock, who pitched so well, even though he took the loss in the 15-inning game on Wednesday, he and Vin Mazzaro went to AAA, and Coleman called up with Everett Tieford, and as Joel shared with us early in the game, Tieford scheduled to start on Sunday against Arizona. There's a wicked slider, and Parra couldn't hold his swing. Mendoza in his first 5 innings gave up 1 run, 1 hit. He had retired 13 out of 14, but then Parra got that single in the 6th. That was the first of 3 straight hits, 4 in the inning, and a 3-run 6th inning, knocking Mendoza out. Oh, 2.
You can see Lewis Coleman starting from the extreme far third base side of the rubber. That gives him a lot of area to bring in that pitch from what the hitter sees from the shortstop area. He's going to start some balls way outside, and then the hitter will hopefully give up on it, and the slider comes right back across the plate.
You know, he has a very unorthodox delivery, and he pointed this out to me that when he steps, he's actually stepping straight ahead because his back foot is at an angle. He does throw across his body, but you can see how his back foot isn't completely up against the rubber, just his toes on the rubber. So he's striding straight ahead, but straight ahead for him is toward the on deck area on the third base side.
It's deceptive for hitters, and that's what pitchers use to try to get the guy off balance. Any way they can hide the ball, any kind of funky deliveries that they come up with to try to get the guy out.
2-2 on Parra. Coleman learned that delivery when he was at LSU. He was more of an over-the-top type of pitcher, but that wasn't getting the college hitters out. So tinkering with some different arm angles. That's the one that he came up with, and he was on the mound in 2009 when LSU won the national championship, beating the University of Texas. Line to center. Meyer is right there. He was playing Parra the other way. So Coleman is faced 4 and retired 4. Bloomquist has had a good night, 2 for 4 with a couple of singles and 2 runs scored.
Yeah, you know, we mentioned earlier about Bloomquist becoming pretty much an everyday player last year. He got a lot of games in, and now this year, Stephen Drew, they're waiting for him to mend, and he had a terrible slide into home last year. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, messed up his ankle pretty bad.
And popped it back in himself. If you haven't had anything to eat in a few hours, you might want to check that out on YouTube.
Oof.
But he comes sliding into home and dislocates his ankle, looks down at it in horror, and I guess just as a natural reflex, popped it back in himself. Oh.
I don't want to see it. Seeing it once was enough.
Yeah. It definitely went against the human blueprint.
Well, so there was a lot of damage done.
Yeah.
At least he's working his way back now.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's what happens. You never know when the injury bug's going to bite you in this game, or in any professional sport for that matter. If Bo Jackson knew that he would have hurt his hip playing football, don't you think that he wouldn't have ran that play?
Yeah.
We might still be seeing him play right now.
Butler lets it go to Falou, and there was a lot of side spin on the ball. And
you're not getting that one.
That might be a good play with a slower runner or a harder hit ball, but there just wasn't enough time to get Bloomquist.
Yeah, now look. Now Butler had it. Watch him. Oop. Till it hit the ground and it shot to left, and Falou couldn't even pick it up. So knowing from experience, these balls, they're very hard to hit. I mean, hit and field. They got spin on them, and see when it hits your glove, it's still spinning. It goes, kicks right out. And Billy Butler, he's telling Bloomquist not to do that again.
And it means that Upton gets to bat with a runner at first and 2 outs in the 9th. And Upton has scored 3 times. He has driven in a run. He has 2 hits. And getting hot for the Diamondbacks. They desperately need him to get hot. He was one of the players we were talking about last inning that's gotten off to a slow start. He was hitting at just .224 when the game started. He's added 10 points to his average. Bloomquist takes off. Quintero throws and still got him. Bloomquist got an enormous jump.
The throw was nice, but the tag was even better for Lou. All right, offense, let's go.
Top of the order coming up. Lou and Butler coming up. And as promised earlier, it's Miller time. And this is Billy Butler leading off the third inning against Joe Saunders.
Boy, I mean, he talk about hitting it where his pitch is right down the middle. He went with it and got himself a big fly. And that was his 7th homer. That leads the Royals.
Escobar leading off for the first time this year. Gerard Dyson just getting a night off. And Escobar is 1 for 4 with a first inning single. And here's J.J. Putz, who had 45 saves last year for the Diamondbacks. And as he settles in tonight, he carries with both arms a 7.50 ERA to the mound.
Right now, you can get him. He's got a good fastball, 90-95, 2-seamer. Kind of sink it a little. Slider and a split finger.
And no balls, 2 strikes on Escobar. J.J. Putz last year with all those saves, and that was his first season with Arizona. And they needed a lift in their bullpen, and J.J. Putz not only did it with his arm, but with his experience. Really helped a young bullpen relax. And it was a bullpen that had a horrible, and that's not an exaggeration, a horrible 2010, 5.74 ERA. That was the worst bullpen ERA in National League history, but a pretty quick turnaround. ERA dropped down to 3.71 last year, and they led the major leagues with 58 saves.
So that's why they're staying with their guy, J.J. Putz.
And Escobar strikes out, fooled by a pitch that was up and not a strike, 1 away.
He might have known that he had the split finger. He was looking for a splitting. It kind of messed him up a little bit. So good job of raising the eye level there by J.J. Pitch before that, he threw him the split finger. Big out for Putz.
And there is the split finger grip. as he goes after Irving Falou. Read a story last year where J.J. Putz was asked about mentoring the younger Diamondbacks pitchers, and he quickly talked about how he was mentored when he was a young pitcher with the Seattle Mariners. And at the end of his career, Eddie Guardado, who pitched with Minnesota, was with the Seattle Mariners and had a lot of experience as a closer and a setup man, and really taught J.J. Putz about the mentality of being a closer. And then you talk to Eddie Guardado and he'll tell you about how Rick Aguilera mentored him. So just passing on the information, one baseball generation to the next.
It's what you do when you reach a certain point, and I wonder how many guys JJ's mentoring in there. Probably a lot.
Up the middle, Bloomquist picks it off and throws out Irving Falou, who's 2 for 5, and the Royals are down to their last out. So Billy Butler, who has walked, he is homered, and one of his outs, the ground out to second base back in the 7th inning, set up the tying run for the Royals in the 7th. And Billy, who's been around for a while, and J.J. Putz has been around for a while, and this is the first time these two have hooked up. Good location over the outside.
Okay, you know, closer, his job's no different than any other pitcher, except they're the hardest 3 outs to get in baseball, but you got to get ahead, and that's what he's doing.
No balls, 2 strikes. Arizona Diamondbacks 1 strike away from a come-from-behind victory, and we told you earlier that that was their specialty last year in winning 94 games. They led the major leagues with 48 come-from-behind wins. So more than half of their wins were come-from-behind fashion. Under the chin.
Yep, that'll back you off.
Just outside, and Montero holding it out there, trying to persuade Phil Cousy to change his mind, and it's 2-2.
Well, Billy better be hacking this next time. I don't think he'll give him that one again.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Alex Gordon's on deck.
He Putz wants to get Butler out for sure. He doesn't want to mess with Gordon in the pop he's got. He's due for a homer. So he goes right after him here with a fastball and challenges it.
And it's outside. Billy walks, so the tying run comes to the plate. And when you look at the problems that J.J. Putz has had this year, we showed you a very high opponent's batting average, a very high ERA, but that is his first walk all year. 1 walk in 12 2/3 innings.
It's not too bad. But Gerard Dyson's going to come in and try to score on a well-placed ball out there if Gordon can do it. So Gordon's got to be looking fastball early. Anything out over, be ready to hit it.
Dyson will take second base. The Diamondbacks are not concerned with that. No stolen base. And now 2 balls and no strikes. Now, I mentioned that Billy Butler had never faced J.J. Putz before tonight. Alex Gordon has seen quite a bit of him over the years. But the best that Alex has been able to do so far is reach with a walk. And that's in 7 plate appearances. He is 0 for 6. This is J.J. Putz with a 7.5 ERA.
Look for one to drive right here.
Got the call with a splitter, and it's 2-1.
Ah, so he went 2-0 split.
And it wasn't a great one.
No, he didn't want to challenge him, though, with anything out over the middle. So they're being a little bit careful with Gordon.
Throws that same pitch around the middle of the plate, and this game's tied. Pull that ball out of the fountains. That's in the seats, 2-2. Alex singled back in the 7th inning to tie the game at 4. The Royals had a 3-1 lead until the 6th when Arizona scored 3. Royals tied in the 7th. And then the Diamondbacks got a 2-run double from Miguel Montero to regain the lead. And now Montero trying to help get his closer, J.J. Putz, through the 9th inning. Dyson at second, 2 outs. Fastball struck him out. So the Arizona Diamondbacks take game 1 with the Royals 6-4. And for the Diamondbacks, that is 6 consecutive wins at Kauffman Stadium. 6-4 final score. We'll be right back.